What's up, y'all? In today's video, we will be talking about a gentleman by the name of Michael Jenkins, who was questioned by a neighbor about whether he lived in his own home. It did spark some viral debates on racial profiling and neighborly behavior. The neighbor, Michelle Bishop, denied any racist intentions after receiving heavy criticism online for the incident, stating that she was only concerned about her children's safety. Michael Jenkins addressed the situation on Instagram, emphasizing the need for community awareness and understanding to prevent similar incidents in predominantly white neighborhoods. So we are going to get into that today. Let's hit my intro and begin. Hello and welcome to Beauty by Jen. If you have or if you haven't been here, welcome either way.
We need to. What's going on?
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Hey.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. She got somebody chased her up here, and she had kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a silver
Guy
truck.
in a gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I don't know if you guys have a
and I was
reading.
in the street, and so I come up, and I just saw my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
She got all worried. That she
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you,
I
though?
had a feel.
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody? Because I was pulling up out
And I
home.
saw someone walking in our driveway, too. And I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
Well, I'm
Well, there
sorry.
we got it. All right, sorry.
What?
I don't.
She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, oh, it scared me, and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, this is my home. You just said, are you looking? And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, I don't think you do.
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like, I'm pulling in my... It's like I'm pulling in my house. Like, this is not... This neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio.
It is.
You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, babe. Go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I live here.
It was the way that you were talking. I was so caught off guard. I'm so sorry.
Chasing her, following her is what I said. I use the word chasing, following me. And so she said, I jumped out of the car and I said, I'm so sorry. I said, literally, I was pretending that your house was my house. I was walking up the driveway, and then I was like turning in. I was pretending that it was yours. And she goes, yeah, that was my husband. And so he ends up coming out and he's like, I told you this was my house. And at that point, I literally started, I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I am so sorry. And I told him, I said, sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. And then, I said, this is your house. That was my words. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, this is your house. I said, I truly kept thinking like, maybe this is his house. Maybe this is his house. And he says, well, I told you this was your house. And I said, you have to understand. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was such an awkward encounter. I said, the truck was like starting to slow behind me. And I'm out here with my little girl and my son. And I said, I'm a mom, and it was dark. And he said, but I told you that this was my house. He says, I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights. And once again, I said, I am so sorry. And they truly, they did not take my apology. And that night, I went home. And so if you guys saw on Instagram, I shared the story twice. The only reason that I shared the story is because I was heartbroken and it was a really scary night. I've always shared everything on Instagram. And so that night, after that whole instance happened, I literally was sitting on the steps, first of all, and John kept trying to talk to me. I kept telling him I was so sorry. And I've never, just the panic. I literally could not come down from this like fight or flight. From the time that I was at the woman's house to literally 30 seconds later, telling the woman that I was just followed, to the man stepping out on the front porch and it being his house. It was like all of these different emotions. And so I'm sitting at home, literally like having this meltdown. And I kept telling John I was so sorry. Like I felt really stupid. And so on the way home, I forgot to say that the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I'm getting noise messages, I'm so sorry. The cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I stopped him. We stopped him, and I jumped over, rolled the window down, and I said, I am so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was his house. It was a misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. He was like, it's okay. I'm glad everything's fine. I was like, yes, it's fine. So I ended up, we went home. And that night when I got home, I had tears, and I was making a cup of coffee. And if you guys know me, I put everything on Instagram. I talk all the time. It was an innocent mistake. I felt really stupid. I absolutely was crushed I felt like they thought I was stupid. I already felt stupid. I truly felt stupid. Like I said to them on the porch, like I kept thinking like maybe this is his house. And then like I'm running and screaming at the top of my lungs. And so yeah, like I felt dumb for sure. So I went on Instagram, in my story, I still have it archived, and I like have tears, and I'm making a cup of coffee. And I said, I was like, man, you like talk about a night. I'm like, man, my night just completely took a left turn. And I was like, super scary. I was like, I'll have to fill you guys in later. So I went live that night. And then I went live again the next morning. And I have to tell you guys, I have been on social media long enough to know that there's a lot of scrutiny. And so by me going live, I did not think that I was doing anything wrong. I was sharing the story of what happened, better safe than sorry, how scary it was, just what I went through. Like, that's the only reason that I went live. At the end, I talked about how I felt stupid and how this couple, twice I apologized and nothing came of it. And so, yeah, that crushed me. I did feel really stupid. So that is the story of that night. Many of you guys were on those lives, and so you guys know the exact emotions and state that I was in. So we are here. And it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than that, that John was sitting in the living room, and he called me the day prior, and he asked me a question about, did you ever say, he said, did you tell the woman that he was black? And I said, no, I told her that I thought he was a young white man. He's like, I thought so. And I was like, that was really weird that he called and asked me that. So the next morning, I was doing my morning reading, and he sits down in front of me, and he's like, we have to talk. And so he told me that there had been a letter floating around our neighborhood that had been posted in our mailroom that had said something about a racist profiling in the neighborhood. And so, of course, you throw racism into the mix, it gets really yucky. And that was the furthest thing from what it was, to the point of literally, we have a handwritten letter from the woman's house that I went to. I'm trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me standing on the porch telling John when he asked, are you sure it wasn't a black man? And I said, I think it is a young white man. But she wrote a letter. She was like, I'm happy to speak on your behalf. You absolutely told me that you thought it was a white man. I'm happy to speak on your behalf. You absolutely told me that you thought it was a white man. And so we had 2 days in a row, the letter was posted in the mailroom saying that there was a racist profiling, not mentioning our name, but it was in reference to that night. It was taken down 2 times. And then I believe there was an email sent to our HOA then asking for this letter to be sent to all the residents in our community. And after a video was sent of me, they decided to not share the message to the whole neighborhood. And so maybe 4 days ago, both videos of me, praise God, the other one, the one of me apologizing, was posted as well, which I do appreciate the transparency there. But once again, the videos were posted in our neighborhood page, attaching racism and profiling to, my name wasn't said, but the video was very clear of me on the Ring doorbell with my daughter, with me looking at the man saying, "Is this your home?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "I don't believe that it is." And because of those words came out of my mouth, and because he was a black man, I have been pointed as being racist. Although it was very dark. Yeah, so, and like I said, I truly, like 60 seconds later, ran to the woman's house, and I told her that I thought he was a younger white guy. So the neighborhood, yes, it was posted on the neighborhood page. I've had some neighbors who have been very, very gracious and have reached out to us, and they know that the integrity of my family, that is not who we are. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of other people who have kind of rallied behind what's happening. And so the page is crazy. There's been a lot happening within our neighborhood. The posts were taken down. I never requested the post to be taken down. I did go into our neighborhood Facebook page, and I went live, and I publicly apologized to the homeowners once again. And I will also, I try, like, truly, like, if there's anything that I can apologize for, I will. There was never racial intent. Ever. What I will apologize for is sorry for sharing the story of me being scared. I could absolutely be slower to speak. There was, I was truly just sharing the story. And so I'm sorry that I didn't necessarily think about your heart and the way that maybe it could have hurt your heart. But it was never to the neighborhood. It was me just sharing the story about a man and being a woman and my babies and the whole thing. And if you guys don't know, because I think it's important to say it, there has been multiple instances where I have actually not these scenarios, but I've actually been pursued. And there was the man in Houston that I shared about as well. And that's why I just love to give context. I love to share. I just more so, like, as a mom, like, in those lives, I said I wouldn't undo what I did. The way that I acted, the way I reacted, I would do it a million times over. Because what if that really would have happened? When I was in Houston, Texas, I had a sex offender, a registered sex offender, profile us. He knew where I lived. He knew what time my husband went to the gym. He knew what car my husband drove. And he came to my house when my husband was gone. And I was in Houston, Texas, and I was followed 20 minutes home, and my car was broken into when I was at the store. And when I was a little girl, we had a man banging on our door and helicopters hovering over our home. So, did I overreact? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I showed up at the door, and I said that I was sorry 2 times. People are going as far as saying they're not genuine apologies, that I'm out to get them for whatever reason that is. I don't know how it could be twisted that way when I literally thought he was a white man. So I knew it wasn't going to stop there, but the Facebook page stuff was deleted. Not me ever asking for any of it to be deleted. I made a public apology to them through the video to a whole Facebook page of almost 500 residents in our neighborhood. And then I posted in the comments multiple times when people were just saying, like, disgusting and just tearing down our family's name. I once again came on and I said, if there's ever an opportunity to reconcile, like, I will. I'm so sorry I could have ever offended you. And so I've absolutely apologized multiple times. It's not been accepted. So now I woke up today and John starts sending me screenshots of people going on all of my social media channels. And I had to make my pages private. On one of the videos of us talking about opening our store, there were over 360 comments, some of which absolutely were from our members, but I would say over 300 of them within a 10-minute span were from people coming to absolutely attack us, saying anything and everything you can imagine, from hating on my faith, tying that to racism and me not being who I say I am, to my family, to be on a lookout, to our business is destroyed, to you can imagine everything that's being said.
So I did a deep dive on the Jenkins family, the family that you all are telling me not to judge and coming for my neck in the comments about. I'm going to tag them right here so you can go do some research of your own. But I did a deep dive back to 2022. Let me tell you some things that I found. And these are things that she willingly posted on the internet. She posted, came out of her mouth. 1, her kids have been sleeping on the floor since 2022. That's 2 years. 2 years her kids have been sleeping on the floor while her and her man sleep in a bedroom on a bed with a PS5 and a big ass flat screen on the wall. 2, she has 2 cats. At one point, the cat had a rash and fleas, and she could not afford to treat the animal and take care of it properly. Again, a video she made herself and posted. She also posted that they've had lice in the house in a never-ending cycle. I'm assuming her and the girls, because she literally made it sound like the lice was back to back to back. Having never-ending lice is nasty. Next, she made a video somewhere along the way saying that their clothes were moldy. I'm sorry, what? How do you have moldy clothes if you're keeping up on the laundry and providing this safe, clean environment that you all are telling me that she's giving these kids? So her kids have been sleeping on the floor for 2 years. They've had lice. They've had fleas. The animals have had rashes that couldn't be treated, and they've had moldy clothes. And you're telling me that this is a safe and clean environment for those kids. You're telling me, those of us that are speaking out saying, this situation's not right, that we're in the wrong. I'm sorry, but I will die on this hill. That situation is not healthy or safe for those kids. You can say what you want in my comments, but it's not.
You can't live somewhere more than like 5 months and not run into your neighbors, especially if like you're someone that goes on a stroll every night. Like, you would definitely notice the house that's right across the street from you, right? It's the biggest house on the block. It's the bougiest house on the block. And this is why, with all of this information, I don't believe that white lady did not know that there was a black family living across the street from her. I'm a firm believer that that whole little charade of whatever the fuck she did, that was purposeful. Like, I don't believe in coincidences like that. I don't believe that you just didn't know who your neighbor was, number one. Mind you, he's been living in the house that he built, that house, nicest one on the block, for 3 years. Okay, anyway. Like, you have kids, you haven't seen their kids? Like, I'm sorry, but kids typically have the same schedules. Like, they go to school or daycare or some shit. It's just not believable. Like, all of it just sounds like such a scheme and a lie in a nasty way that a racist was trying to get a black man murdered. Like, just take 1 second and take a step back. It was giving her acting debut, and nobody fell for it. It's giving jealousy.
Then you're like, oh, come on. You got to understand. You can't. Are you really mad? Like, he is the problem here. And then your husband talks about let's go. It doesn't matter. It does matter. White women need to understand their tears is literally the difference between life and death for us. Because you are screaming as if this man is attacking you. Somebody could come out there. A cop can come out there and put one straight through this man because of you on his front doorstep. White women control your fear. Control your internal.
The white woman from Ohio, the one that racially profiled the black real estate developer in front of his own house as he's pulling into his driveway, Michelle Bishop, I believe her name was. Well, she came out and publicly apologized, man. And the internet wasn't buying it, man. At one point in her apology, she asked herself if she felt like she was overreacting? And she said, I don't think so. And I'm like, what? In her explanation, man, she tried to make the argument like she felt like the dude was pursuing her. And she told her husband that she was being followed by a man in a truck. Meanwhile, she was literally in front of the man's house the whole time. And when she asked him if he lived there, after he asked her, can I help you? He said yes. And she says, I don't believe, and took off running. I've never heard somebody scream like that. That shit was crazy. You would have thought somebody was getting like kidnapped or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm happy that the internet didn't buy her apology, man, because that was like one of the worst apologies I've ever seen in my life, man. You can't mess up like that. Once you mess up in front of somebody else's house, man, as you're ringing their doorbell, and then you come back around and feel your husband the wrong story, it's like, you can't come back from that, man. You just got to take that L, and you got to hope that it dies out when people forget. But you can't come back for that. No apology is going to bring you back for that. And the dude obviously didn't accept her apology, which he was personally nicer than I would have been on those situations, because it's like, come to my doorstep, man, racially profiling me. Are you crazy?
Okay, so I've watched the apology video, and every single article that's talking about the video, the last video, and talking about where the Michael Jenkins, I think he's like the real estate developer who comes home and the crazy white lady screaming and yelling at him, disbelieves that he lives there, and then like runs down the street screaming, and it's all caught on the Ring doorbell. So she, as you could see right there, says, I will not apologize. She apologized twice, and now she's facing the consequences. And I think that's why she's breaking down now, because the video has gone everywhere, all over the world. This all happened in November. And I think that there's some sort of blogger or something found this video and like reposted it this month. And that's why it's going viral, because of the content on the Ring doorbell, and because she's actually come out and said that in this tearful apology where she's crying her head off, she said that she's had to delete all of her social media, and people are calling her a racist, even though she apologized to the husband and the wife in the video. And it's like, yeah, this is forever now. It's on a video that's gone online all over the world. That's why she's crying. She's not actually crying because she feels bad. You know, she feels bad because she got caught behaving that way, and she is most definitely a racist. She's like, in her interview, she was like, I thought he was a white guy. And I was like, come on, you can tell that he was black. He's wearing dreads, and he came out of the car to go into his house. And she's like, oh, he was chasing me. And he was like, I was driving slowly so I could look at the Christmas lights in front of my house. Like, are you kidding me? And then just the craziest things. She changed her story a couple times, saying that he chased her. I was like, she's like, oh, I'm so afraid. When I was a child, I guess when she was a child, she said that she had this story that somebody knocked on the family door really loud and it scared her. What does that have to do with this guy coming home? And then she said a couple years ago that she was followed by a sex offender one time. Again, traumatizing, but what does it have to do with this random guy walking to his own front door? Nothing. And I think it's just crazy that she's like coming up with these excuses and stuff. It's like, just deal with it. You are a racist, and maybe it's unconscious, maybe it isn't, but you did something wrong and you have to deal with it now. And you know, it's 2025. People have Ring camera doorbells all the time. So if we hadn't had that camera showing the interaction, what would she have said? She is just crying because she got caught doing something that has damaged her reputation now. Everybody knows her name. Everybody knows what she looks like. You know, I just think it's just horrible. And she doesn't want to have that label of being a racist, but she is. She is. I don't believe anything that she says, because if that camera wasn't rolling, she would have said, he chased me up to the house and I was so scared. And now we know that he wasn't chasing anybody. He was driving slowly so he could look at his family's Christmas lights that were installed. And he didn't drive up behind her. He drove up his own driveway and backed into the back of his driveway and got out of the car. She could see what he looked like. what criminals slowly drive up their own driveway and turn the car so that the rear of the car is facing the house. Like, what are you talking about? And then she even said that he was unfriendly to her with the way that he spoke, but because the camera was running, you can say that he only spoke to her twice. One was to say, yes, he lived there. And another was to say, like, can I help you or something like that. Ridiculous.
I have nothing against their family, but I grew up dealing with this all the time. So we still have to live here. They live 2 streets over. We have to ride by each other's house. I'm okay with being cordial with riding by each other's house. Have no issue with them. The issue is getting the word out here and letting my situation and what I've been through and what I overcome be inspiring to people in the world, people that look like me. So that's the space I'm in, and I'm thankful for God because I didn't ask for her to show up on my porch. This is God's movement here. This is God telling me the people need to hear your story. You need to inspire. You need to tell people what's going on and use this so that hopefully this won't happen to the next person, or the next person that comes across a Karen situation, they will know how to control their emotions. Because us as Black men, especially young Black men, we struggle with that. We struggle with that impulse, with that acting. We think irrationally and we never think rationally. So I'm here to inspire people. I'm a real estate developer. I build houses from the ground up, single family houses. But I thought that moving into the most wealthiest neighborhood in Ohio, that this was the right thing to do. But maybe my focus needs to be building communities that's for us and by us so that we can inspire people that look like us. We can build a community that's for us.
Can I ask you a question? You said something very interesting. You said she lives 2 streets up from you. So you mean to tell me she went 2 streets out of her way to try to find out who lived in this home? Not on your street, not on your street, not on your block, not next to you. 2 streets.
It's 2 streets up, but she's all the way north. We're all the way south. It's multi-million-dollar houses back here. The lots are big, so it's 2 streets, but it's still, we could go 30 days, 60, 90 days without seeing each other.
So she went out of her way. Let me ask you this. She issued an apology. She also said that she reached out to you and tried to apologize multiple times, but she hasn't had a response from you. Did she try to apologize to you in person, or was it through this video that you guys have seen?
She has not tried to apologize to us in person, via phone, via knock at the door, via a phone call, via email. No, only the live videos.
Now, apparently, if we were to believe what the report says, that this woman has a history going back as far as 2018 of creating these situations and then making herself out to be a victim. Have you guys seen that? Have y'all seen any of those reports that's being circulated?
I have not seen that.
I have not seen.
Can I ask you this? I want to ask you this. Have you thought about, since your privacy, your security, have you thought about potentially even leaving that neighborhood and going elsewhere? Or you saying, nah, y'all not going to run us up out of our home?
100%. I've been in Ohio my whole life, and I faced racial discrimination at its highest peak. I'm a stereotype person, tattoos, dreadlocks, a man that's in the professional world, in the real estate development world, that you don't see too many minorities building multi-million-dollar homes. It doesn't happen here. So we 100% have thought about moving to another state, taking my talents elsewhere, building a community, to going places where we could be surrounded by more people that look like us.
Man. DeMichael, thank you for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. You handled that thing very well. To your wife, what's your name, ma'am?
Brittany.
You and DeMichael, handled it very, very well. I'm not so sure very many people would have handled it with the class and with the poise that you did. You did everything right. And even though you did everything right, it seems like everything has gone wrong. She was wrong for coming onto your property. The authorities seem to be wrong for how they've handled this situation. Hopefully, you get the clarity, you get the judgment, the respect that you deserve in this situation because you did everything right. And seemingly, as of right now, things have gone wrong. Hopefully, the Nightcap family, everybody that's in this chat, we're praying for you that you get your sense of peace, you get your sense of normalcy, and you get everything that you deserve back tenfold. Because just talking to you, you're a good man. Brittany, you're a good woman. Y'all a great family.
Yes.
And you're doing the right thing. So I tip my hat to you for the way you handled this situation, and continue to be blessed. God's going to continue to bless you because you're a good man and you do great things for the community. And I want to thank you, Ocho and I, Nightcap family, want to thank you for sharing your story with us. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. This is going to go out, and you're going to get an outpouring of support.
Yes, sir.
And it still wouldn't be enough for what you guys went through. But I thank you for sharing your story here with us on Nightcap. Continue to be blessed, continue success, and we'll talk to you soon down the road.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
So I know that was all a lot. I did hear her apologizing in the video. I'm not taking sides. I'm not, because we all know that people consider Black women, such as myself, to be at the bottom of the totem pole. So I am not taking up for anyone in the story. I'm just pointing out that in the ring cam video, she did apologize numerous times. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse, and I'm not saying that she isn't a racist or she is a racist. I don't know. I don't live in that area or that rich neighborhood, and I don't know anything they have going on. Again, not taking sides. I'm just saying in the ring cam video, I did hear her apologizing a lot of times, but other people are saying that she has some kind of past. I don't know. I wish Michael and his wife the absolute best, and they shouldn't have to be going through anything like that if they are in fact being discriminated against. Like, no one wants to be discriminated against, and as a Black woman, we don't have a lot of allies. So I'm clearly not taking any sides. Like, you know, people hate us all the time, but it's about Michael and his family. So again, I wish them the best. So just let me know what you all think about this in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Help me get to 10K subs. I apologize for the quality of this video. I didn't have my assistant slash editor slash everything else today. He is working hard on other projects right now, but let me know what you think about it, and I will see you all next time.